Welcome. Today we're going to make these little guys. It's a picture of my cookie from many years ago. This was originally taken from food.com recipe, The Most Wonderful Gingerbread Cookies 80156, back in 2012. So in a rare instance, I don't think I altered this much other than other than I did increase a couple of these. That's just adding. I put in the raisins because I like the raisins, but I know a lot of people don't, so, you know, optional. But I did increase the cinnamon and increase the clove just a little bit, quarter teaspoon on each of those. And I don't recall if they topped the top of that or not, but I make a mix of all the seasonings and I top it, sprinkle it over the icing so it sticks. And that really helps. I mean, when you're putting that cookie up to your face and you have all those spices right there by your nose, oh my God, it's wonderful. So as always, I don't always mention this, but I put so much information underneath in the description. So that's there. If you are some master cook, just look at the recipe and do your thing. What we're going to do is we're going to do the mix real quick for the top, and then we're going to set that aside, and then we're going to do the rest of the cookie. Okay. So we got cinnamon, ginger, cloves, and nutmeg. So the cinnamon is a teaspoon. And we're going to set that over there because we're going to use that in a cookie. All right. Nutmeg. Quarter. I always like to double check myself when I'm doing this. I've set them all out ahead of time, but you never know. Now, this is not actually in the cookie, so I'm going to set that kid aside as well, so I don't get confused with that later. The ginger itself at 1 teaspoon. Uh-oh, that barely fits. It was a little low because I had those big old bubbles in there. There we go. Now later, that's going to be a tablespoon, so we won't need that again. Ground cloves, we need half. Now the cloves are really strong. I love strong, zesty, punch you in the face kind of smells, tastes. So, you know, that's me, but you don't have to do that if you don't like, or you think that's just going to be too much. So this is simple. You just whisk this together real quick. Later on, I'm gonna swing over here with the powdered sugar, water. We're gonna make the icing. We're gonna put this on. We're gonna have the raisins. Right now, that just goes away. So we got flour, salt, dark brown sugar, which I used to use Dixie crystals, and then one day they didn't have them because pandemic and shortages. So I got Domino, and oh my effing bejeebus, that is ridiculously good. There is something about it, smooth texturally, that is just so much better. So I super recommend dark brown sugar Domino now. Weird thing to get on, but you know, you find something good. Baking powder, baking soda, and then of course we have the ginger, the cinnamon, cloves, vanilla, molasses, and egg, of course, right there hanging out in the middle. That is gonna be it. There's after that we're gonna mix it, fridge it, roll it, and then bake it. I did forget to mention butter. Butter was sitting over here, perfectly pleasant, but I forgot about it. Anyways, that is 6 tablespoons of butter right there, and we're gonna beat that with the egg and the dark brown sugar. But just real quick, I'm just gonna mix that up a little bit first. So I'm not always into the mixing the butter first or creaming it, but I hear it does add air, incorporate air into the butter and make things more fluffy. I've really not noticed a difference, and if you watch my chocolate butterball video, I just melt that just down to liquid, basically. I got a little overzealous on that one, but I, at the very least, usually will melt it a little bit. And the only reason I didn't hear is because after we mix this, we are going to refrigerate it. So it's just going to delay that process. All right, so as said, butter, egg, or dark brown sugar. There. And our dark brown sugar, we want 3/4 of a cup. Okay. Stay there, buddy. Alrighty. Nice and mixed. Next, we are going to beat in the molasses and the vanilla. Molasses is 1/2 cup and vanilla is 2 teaspoons. 1 teaspoon. That's a lot of vanilla. But okay. I know I've made it before and I know it's damn good, so I'm not gonna question that. Whoa, whoa. Losing vanilla. That actually poured really well. Woo, buddy. Alright. But I do want to get every little bit of it, so I'm going to still use a spatula here to get all this out. Okay, that I am going to eat. Nom nom nom. Not for everyone, but oh my god, it's so good. Creamy. Okay, next will be the seasoning, the salt, ginger, cinnamon, and cloves. Ground cinnamon. I am just going to set my little cheat sheet here so it's a little quicker. 2 teaspoons. Uno. And dos. Oh man. That one's, there we go. Crush your, oop. Alright. I'm calling that about. Alright, and the cloves, 1/2 teaspoon. And the salt, 3/4 of a teaspoon. So that's just a quarter. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, done with these guys. Arrivederci. Mix gently because the cinnamon will poof in your face. I don't know if you can see that, but I can see the slight dust cloud even there. So sometimes I just use this sucker minus the power for a minute. We're going for the baking soda and the baking powder, and the baking soda is going to be 0.75, and the baking powder is going to be 1.5. Significantly expired, by the by. Expiration dates are really sort of guidelines more than rules, I think. Especially on something like that. Baking powder, 1.5, and this is 1/2, so we need 3 of these too. 3 of these too. That's silly. 3 of these also. Okie dokie. Maybe manual again. Wet that a little bit down so it doesn't poof up. Last, the fleur. De fleur. I think that's French. So the flour is 3 cups. Now this cup I have here is actually a full cup, but as I don't sift this or anything, I at least like to dump it and shake it a bit, and that way it's not compacted. Or at least less compacted. Let's go with that. And 2. And 3. Cool beans. Adios, that sucker. Oh, I just floured myself. Well, lightly breaded Rob. Okay. Gently wet it. Wet it. Gotta do that. Or it'll be everywhere and you'll be heavily breaded. I like if that button would just work as a pulse in general. Just like, that's what I want right there. This poor thing always smells like it's on fire. Poor little baby. Okay, so you can see this is it's okay. It's very wet. It's very sticky. And this is why you got to refrigerate it for like 20 minutes, or not 20, 2 hours. Got to refrigerate it for 2 hours, and that way it firms up, and it's something you can actually roll and do a cookie cutter on if you want, or just do little shapes or whatever. Okay, all set. Got my wax paper. I got a silicone spatula here because I think that's going to make this easier. Knife. It's not a knife. This is a knife. I just want it a little flat so that it chills really well. And want it in the middle where I can wrap it and seal it, of course, with the wax paper so that it does not dry out. So those are my really only goals here. You can see it's very, very sticky. It's okay. I think I'm done after this. We'll just call that good. So just fold that sucker in. I'm just going to lay it in the fridge like that little flat pancake. And we'll be back in 2 hours. We have dough. We have a floured surface. We have a very large roller. I have found out that that is exactly 1/4 of an inch width. So I know how tall to make my cookies. I have some little Gingerbread Man. I'm going to try a Kermit. And most of my cookies, though, just do a circle. Other than that, we got some greased pans. We got oven to the side over here that is warming up to 375, and these will get cooked for 7 minutes. When I saved my knife I used for butter earlier, and I'm just gonna use that here a little bit. Big old chunk of this. And even without, say, a roller or this mess, you could easily, if you didn't want to punch anything out, you could easily just form these by hand. I don't see any difference in rolling a ball here and doing it that way than anything else. Happy little friend. Do an official Gingerbread Man. Says hi. Okay. All right. Anyways, let's see. My goodness. Well, that's a nightmare, isn't it? It's okay. You know what? Heat him up. He'll be just the same. So, like I said, the other option here, rather than doing any of that, is just to do a little bit of that. There's no saying this has to be fancy. You do kind of want it to be the same thickness, and that does make it a little more challenging. But even if you just did maybe like a quick roll over it, and there you go. But what I'm going to do with most of these is just do a little bit of that. There we go, nice little circle. I'm going to just roll the ball in a little flour, roll my hands in a little flour, and then squish. Oh, that's so much more efficient. Got stuff ready for my topping here. So I got powdered sugar. Let's do 1.5 cups of that. It kind of seems like a lot, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see together. Some of the past recipes I've done are things I've done a lot of, so I knew what to expect. This one, not so much. I'm going to use this little guy. That's what I used to stir up the seasoning earlier. Been an equally long time since I ice cooked, so see how this goes. I'm thinking either to spoon it on them or to just plop them in face down and see how it goes. Let's try the face down thing first. So that came out pretty dang good, actually. I think that may need to be just a hair thicker. A little better. All right, now while that is still wet, I got my raisins and my seasoning, and I want to get a little everything on there. Now, I was just getting into these Sunmaid raisins, and I'm used to them being this size, and 90% of them are that size. That's really tiny. So, normally, I figure, like, this size cookie is good for maybe 4 bites. So I put a raisin in each quadrant. But, and yes, I'm that kind of special, and I know it. So anyways, I'm going to use some of the bigger ones and see if I can't just do that like I would normally. But when it comes to those little guys, I'm going to have to use more. And then get the good stuff on there. Cookie done. Is good? Is good. Okay. Let's see. Now that I've thickened this up, I don't know if and this is a bigger cookie too. I don't know if I can do the upside down thing here. So what I thought was going to be way too much frosting is actually enough for like 1/3 of these. So clearly I'm going to have to make more in a minute. That is like the most super important thing, because smell is so relevant to taste. And as soon as you bake all this, like, it loses a lot of the zest. So when you recoat the top with fresh seasoning like this, oh, the smell it's amazing. And it's really strong, which is something I like because I like these seasonings. So, you know, suit to taste. Right now, mostly I'm getting like the allspice scent, or I'm sorry, the clove scent. Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. All right, I'm gonna do the rest of these, and well, you know what? Before we do that, let's take one of these babies and pop it up, show you like who cooked perfect and that I want to eat right now. So, got this. Whoa, this nice soft texture here, and it is just gorgeous. I love it. I'm going to eat it right now. If I think of anything else to film after this, then we'll do that. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Enjoy the cookies and have a great day in life, etc.